Welcome back, guys. Zero Deaths here. Today we are doing another best of 10. Today we are doing the medieval versus the ancient faction. A couple days ago, our last best of 10 was the medieval faction versus the Viking faction, and the medieval faction won by 2. So let's see how they stand going up against a faction like the ancient faction that has 2 absolute powerhouses on their team, between the Minotaur, who has an insane amount of health and heavy melee damage, especially with his charge ability, and having Zeus standing in the back just bolting off those lightning bolts one after the next. Zeus is able to absolutely clutch the first battle for the Ancients, giving them a 1-0 lead. I forgot about the Ballista too. The Ballista is definitely better than the Catapault going here against when you're comparing siege vehicles. Now that they're adding all these new siege vehicles to the game, they're starting to really tweak the amount of damage that all these different units are doing. Not just siege vehicles, but I think the Catapult's a little bit weaker than it was when tabs first came out. But here we go. The Ancients win their second in a row. They have a 2-0 lead over the medieval faction. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to come back from this, but let's see. The Knight is already down. The King is going up against the Minotaur. He takes him down with the healing unit healing him. And it looks like they knocked the Ballista out of the way, which is going to make him miss his shot. And it looks like the King is going to be able to close the gap and take out Zeus. Hopefully, we'll take a look here in 1 second. And the Catapault absolutely domes him. But it looks like Zeus got back up. It looks like it's what do we have? A Bard, Healer, and the King going up against Zeus, and the medieval team is going to win. It is now 2-1. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to pull out the series. It looks like the ancient faction has a much better advantage over them, but the Ballista is definitely distracted by the Knight, and it's going to take him out in one shot. I can just guarantee it, unless he misses. I think the medieval faction's best bet, yeah, he took out the Knight. I think the medieval faction's best bet is if they can keep the Ballista distracted. Maybe if the Bard can get him to shoot off to the side, maybe miss a bolt or two. Other than that, this Ballista is just going to keep mowing down the medieval faction. It's going to one-shot everyone except the King. So they have a 3-1 lead now. And here we go. The King is coming in. He's missing his lightning bolts. It looks like it's really up to whether or not the King can take out the Minotaur quick enough, because he's not going to be able to close that gap against Zeus. Unless, yeah, the King's down, and it looks like the ancient faction is going to take another win, giving them a 3-point lead over the King's army, which is absolutely insane, because the medieval faction 10-8 with a 2-0 spread there at the end beat the Vikings 10-8, and they had a lot of really good fights. That was one of my favorite videos I ever made. But it looks like the ancient faction might actually take the W on this one. If they win, we'll put them up. Let me know down in the comments below, actually. I'll let you guys decide. If the ancient faction decides, ends up winning this one, who do you want to see them fight? We'll put them up against whoever gets the most likes down in the comments below. I'm thinking maybe the pirate faction, or maybe the spooky faction, because they have a lot of powerhouses on their team. Between the Ballista, Zeus, and the Minotaur, that's a lot of really expensive, really strong units. And it looks like they absolutely just swept the medieval faction. Holy cow. 6-1. They have a 5-point lead, and I do not think the medieval faction is going to be able to come back from that, especially if the King just keeps getting mowed down before he can even take out the Minotaur. Like he's been doing, the healer hasn't really been keeping him up too well. I heard Landfall Games said in one of their earlier patch notes in a development clip that the healer is going to be able to start using his laser beam to attack if everyone's at full health. So I wonder how that's going to be. It might be OP. If it is, they might actually make the medieval team a little stronger than they are right now, because it looks like they're going to get absolutely swept more than any other faction we've done so far in the best of 10s. Looks like the medieval's taking a huge loss. This is a cool map to do it on too, because they have the castle, and I adjusted the line here so that we could see. So it looks like the medieval is just defending their castle. All right, let's see. It looks like Zeus is going to take the W, and that is an even bigger lead. It's 8-1. We got 2 more chances here, unless the King can take out Zeus. That's what it's really coming down to. Can he close the gap and take out Zeus? The Bard really isn't getting the attention of anyone significant. There's too many strong... Oh, that Catapault looked pretty cool. Oh, it fired anyway. I think it took him out. The broken Ballista just absolutely no-scoped that guy. Yeah, I think the Bard's good because the Bard can pull away some of these strong units, but the Ancient Era or the Ancient Faction, I mean, just has one too many strong, overpowered units to be able to distract them. The Bard just can't pull his own weight, and the Catapult is definitely weaker than the Ballista. Although the Knight definitely gives the Medieval Faction an edge normally. Going up against most factions, the Knight is definitely one of the stronger mid-range units since he can defend all the ranged attacks. But here, looks like, no. I thought maybe the King was going to be able to clutch that one. That's going to take us to the end of our series. It looks like the Ancient Era is going to win 10-1. But before we go here, we are going to have to watch the fight of the night. Honestly, they only won once, but I'm going to have to pick the Medieval Faction because that was definitely a clutch win across 10 really devastating defeats. As always, guys, I am ZEROdeaths. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please subscribe. If you have not, 80% of my viewers have not yet subscribed. So if you are one of them, please subscribe down below. Like this video, comment, let me know what you want to see in the next video, and I will see you tomorrow.